It's time now for a look at least in local news, and we got this late breaking news and announcement from the city of Jesup. Reads due to unforeseen circumstances of equipment arrival delays, the city has postponed the opening of their city pool, which was originally scheduled for tomorrow morning. Now the opening has been pushed back to Wednesday afternoon, the 19th of June from 1 to 6 p.m. City of Jesup is committed to following all the rules, regulations, and guidelines imposed by the Georgia Department of Public Health. So once again, no pool opening tomorrow, now pushed back to Wednesday, June 19th from 1 to 6 p.m. Admission at the pool for everyone's $5. They do have season passes for sale, and for all information regarding the pool prices, rental prices, and times, simply call City Hall at 912-427-1313. But again, the pool not opening tomorrow. The opening now is pushed back to Wednesday, June 19th from 1 to 6 p.m. Other news from the city commissioners have approved the first reading of their budget. They did so this past Monday afternoon in a call meeting. Budget about $1.9 million more than last year's budget. Public hearing and second reading of that budget is going to take place this coming Tuesday at the regular scheduled meeting at City Hall. Here's a portion of Monday's meeting in which the city manager, Nick Ellis, is talking about in this budget, the board wanted to look after their retired city employees.
Some workshops and things through GMA, and she brought up the fact that some of the decisions we make for our employees, we have to be the people who make them, and it was pertaining to our retirement. We did send out surveys and talk to everybody about pay and retirement, but this budget reflects us moving our retirement back to 2% as well. And so I wanted to make sure that we, understood that we made a decision based off of the majority of those surveys that people wanted to see that retirement from this budget moving forward. We're not retro back to 2011, but from this period moving forward, we will move our retirement back to 2% with the expected cost to be an additional $36,000 on top of the six. I think it's roughly like $690 that we're paying per year.
And that should be in line with the whole budget.
Yes, sir.
That's the most important thing.
That is the most important.
And I don't know if we get credit for it.
Well,
And I don't know if the employees understand it, but that's the most important.
we had a very good conversation. Commissioner Morgan, who was there as well, having just recently retired, he shared some valuable input on what that retirement means. And one of the things Patrick Martin said, and I actually talked to him about this today, was, employees got to put in their time to start seeing the benefit of their retirement. And if you give it about 10 years, you'll start seeing how much the city really does for you, and you'll see it on your paycheck, but you'll also look at your retirement and say, well, if I put in a few more years, I'll get closer to this time period where I can leave and have a full pension.
And once again, that was a portion of the city meeting held this past Monday. Once again, the second reading of the city budget and approval taking place this coming Tuesday at City Hall. Again, there also had public participation on the budget at the meeting before the approval. Budget is available for public to look at. It's at City Hall, and we'll be at Tuesday's city meeting, have a full report for you next week. We'll be back with more news right after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Other news, the Board of Education also looking to pass a budget, and they had their first reading and approved at Tuesday's board meeting on a 3-2 vote. That was first a 3-2 vote against the budget until Board Member Tina Mosley changed her mind and voted in favor of the proposed budget. Here's more from the meeting as Board Member Todd Wise was attempting to get a better understanding of the proposed increase, and Superintendent Dr. Kelly explained that since he's been superintendent of Wayne County Schools, Wayne County runs a deficit budget.
It's $6 million. I get it. I get that up front. That drops our budget down to $10 million. Next year you want 6 more. That drops our budget down to $4 million. Now we're in a budget deficit of $16 million in a 3-year project with only $4 million left over. And the reason I ask that is because in 2022 we did $11 million. In 2023 we did $2 million. And now in 2024 we're asking for $6 million. So it's $15 million or $14 million. So my concern is how much do we keep taking out that we're not putting in until we run into a negative deficit. And I guess I don't understand it enough to give you a clarity yes right now, and I might by tomorrow.
Well, so I can explain that.
Please.
Okay. So for the last 3 years, we've run a deficit budget, okay? Since I've been here.
Okay.
And I don't have the other numbers in front of me, but I think I do have these numbers. So in your FY24 budget, which is the budget we're in now, we budgeted for $6.680 million in deficit. This year we're budgeting $6.1 million. So about $500,000 right around $500,000 less in deficit, okay? We did the same thing the year before. We did the same thing the year before. And if I'm understanding correctly, Mr. Aldridge, we've done that almost every year that you know of, okay? But yet we still have a $17 million fund balance. So we haven't cut into the fund balance. If anything, since I've been here, I think we've added to the fund balance. So we do a deficit budget to be proactive in case there are things that come up during the year that might need to be spent. It could be software. It could be a catastrophic failure to hardware. It could be, even though you have insurance, it could be a hurricane comes and wipes out, one of your schools. So there's a lot of different things that can happen, and that's why we budget for a deficit. One of the things that I would bring up would be the fence that you guys are having us get quotes on now over here at James E. Bacon. That money's not budgeted for, but because we do a deficit budget, we have that money available without you having to amend the budget. Now, we take very seriously our monitoring of the budget so that we don't get to a point where we're just freely spending money and taking up that $6 million. Most times, and I think my first 2 years here, we actually earned more money than we spent, which adds to the fund balance, or adds to the savings account.
Wayne Drug Company is more than a pharmacy. They are your neighbor.
And once again, the first reading of the school board budget has been approved. The 3 board members voting yes were Tina Mosley, Sharon Daniel, and Bruce Harris, while board members Todd Wise and Kerry Yarborough voted no. Second reading of that budget and approval is set for Tuesday, June 25th. The first, again, on that date, will be a 5 o'clock meeting, once again set aside for public participation and comments and questions about the budget. The WIFO film will be on hand and continue to follow the story as it develops. County commissioners met Thursday afternoon in a call meeting, and they met with their fire chief, Jared Huffman, who did a presentation for the commissioners on the 9 fire stations in the county and the shape they're in, and the discussion about equipment and recommendations for the fire departments. 9 fire stations are the 2 new ones, Lewis Fire Station on Osteen Branch Road and Chapman Station on Chapman Plantation Road. Others are Mount Pleasant Station, Empire Station, Oak Quinn Station, Little Creek Station, Cardeye Station, Madras Spring Station, and Anderson Drive Station, which they stated Thursday receives most of the calls in the county, and they would like to find a better location for that station and make improvements. Huffman talked about the antiquated equipment, including the tires on the trucks and the engines, etc. And Thursday was a presentation to the board to give them some insight on how to improve the fire safety here in the county. Also discussed was the election board, which they state they'll have a resolution ready for their August meeting and names of people to serve on the 3-member board with an election supervisor and assistant. Chairman Mike Gordon says they reached out to the local Republican and Democratic parties here in Wayne County, received names from the parties on people who would like to serve on the election board. But Attorney Andy Beaver instructed the county board that they can appoint anyone they want to that board. It's solely their discretion. No names were mentioned at Thursday's meeting, but they hope to have the board in place by their September meeting. The deadline to have the board in place is December 15th. One other item not on the agenda but discussed at the Thursday's call meeting, Chairman Mike Gordon brought up the fact that he'd like to ask the county to consider building a county animal shelter. He says they have an understanding with the city and a contract with the city, but when the city shelter is full, he says there's no place for the county animals. Gordon simply asked that they let the administrator, Paul Girardi, come back with some figures on what it would cost for the county to have their own animal shelter. And let's look at your Thursday's called meeting. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news: an important community blood drive coming up on Monday, June 17th at Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium from 1 to 6 p.m. Red Cross stresses that during the summer months, these blood drives are crucial. They ask if you have the chance to give the gift of life, a pint of blood. Do so Monday. To schedule an appointment, you go to the website, redcrossblood.org, and enter Jesup, or call the Red Cross at 1-800-733-2767. Walk-ins will be accepted Monday as well. Once again, the date, this coming Monday, June 17th, from 1 to 6 p.m. at Calvary Baptist Church Gymnasium. Chamber of Commerce selling tickets to their annual Legacy Dinner. That's set for Thursday, June 27th at 6 p.m. at the Barn at the Live Oak Ranch on Lanesbridge Road. Semi-former attire. Tickets are $75 each. Simply stop by or call the Chamber at 912-427-2028. Annual passing of the gavel from current President Mark Watson to incoming President Kristen Groover. Also the announcements of the annual awards, the Ambassador of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Business Leader of the Year, the Excellence in Agriculture Award, and the Distinguished Service Award winner. All that Thursday, June 27th at the barn on Lanesbridge Road, 6 p.m. If you need more information or tickets, call the Chamber at 912-427-2028. City of Scriven, once again, the place to be to watch the best fireworks show year in and year out. This year's show is scheduled for Saturday evening, June 29th, after a full day of funded activities and vendors in the City of Scriven as they present their annual Independence Day celebration. Weekend will kick off with that Friday, June 28th dance at the fire station with local band Second Chance performing. And the time that Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Scriven Fire Station. Hot dogs, hamburgers will be sold at the event with all proceeds going towards the Scriven Fire Department. It's the annual City of Scriven Independence Day celebration. Again, Friday, June 28th, the band from 8 to 10. Then at the Scriven Fire Station. Then Saturday, a full day of fun activities. It'll begin that Saturday morning with the 1 mile run and 5K race at the Grace Community Center. Registration that morning at 7 a.m. The walk and run at 8 a.m. Once again, if you need more information about the activities, call Scriven City Hall at 912-579-2211. And it's time for fireworks, and no one has a better show than the City of Scriven. June 29th, everyone is invited. And in Scriven, Mayor Weaver hosting an Epilepsy 101 training event to raise awareness about epilepsy and equip participants with skills on seizure first aid. That's going to take place Thursday, June 20th from 10 to 2 at Coastal Pines Polytech Center in Wayne County. Epilepsy training seeks to bridge the gap by providing comprehensive training to participants, ensuring they're well prepared to assist individuals experiencing seizures in their schools and communities. Once again, everyone's invited to attend. The event's free and open to individuals of all backgrounds and experience levels, especially school personnel. And to register, go to the website epilepsygeorgia.org/Wayne County or call Scriven City Hall at 912-579-2211. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.